Dallas Mavericks defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, 124 to 103. This is the replay. Let's go. Good evening. Welcome everybody to another edition of the replay where we try to make your day. I'm your host, Jabril Rashad, aka The Real Deal Jabril, and we are coming live tonight, guys. I'm going solo. Maybe my guys will join me, maybe not. I don't know because it's kind of late. Normally, we don't be on here this late, but we couldn't get it started prior to the Minnesota Timberwolves and Dallas Mavericks Western Conference Final Game 5. So we had to wait till the game was over with just to see what I already felt all along, that the Dallas Mavericks, if Derek Lively played, which he did, if he played, then we would be successful. I am so happy, man, that they got this over with, because I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be real honest with you. Had we lost tonight, I felt like we were still going to be able to go back to Dallas and take care of business. But you don't want to let this thing linger out. So we're going to talk about it this evening, y'all. But before we do any of that or get a little bit deeper into that, hit the subscribe, like, and share button for me because we're still growing the channel. This is the replay again where we try to make your day. So yes, the Dallas Mavericks is your Western Conference champions. They defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, 124 to 103. And I'm going to tell you, Luka Doncic, they came out like a game, man. It was mobbing the Minnesota Wolves the way you're supposed to at the very beginning. I mean, you can't ask for a better start. The way Luka shot the ball, I mean, it was unbelievable. Him and Kyrie both combined for 72 points, 36 points apiece. I mean, they carried the load. That's what your superstars are supposed to do, without question. They came out the way you're supposed to come out. And big shout out, man, to Kyrie Irving. Big shout out to Luka Doncic and the surrounding cast. When you talk about Derek Lively, man, the youngster, man, he played his heart out, battling a head injury, took a vicious knee to the back of the head. He fought through it. He willed himself through it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. So again, we're gonna give a big shout out, man, to the Dallas Mavericks.
That's good money to stick it here. He's the second team All-NBA Defensive Player. Reed was a six-man award winner. He's
Kyrie with the ball, doing the thing, man, breaking the defense down, straight into the well. I mean, you couldn't ask anything, man, more from Kyrie tonight. They came out like game
Great season for Minnesota. Right? There was low expectations coming in, and now they're assist and finish here.
I'm telling you. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. There's no way I could not come over here tonight, man, and give my boy the big shout out. I'll tell you, when it comes to Dallas Mavericks, I said this sometimes Dallas Cowboys. They go in the Minnesota hostile environment. And that's me. It's got off to a great start. I was so happy because they did so much stuff. They kept thinking that we were win this game here, come back to Dallas, beat us again, and then go back to Minnesota. But they was denied. And I couldn't ask for anything more than how these boys came out of the performance. Big shout out to Dallas Mavericks. I had a match all night long. Again, I didn't know how we was gonna come out and play, but we played the way, when you're on a mission, and you have a vision and you're trying to accomplish something, no one really knows what that really is about unless you're in that locker room. The critics and the pundits, they're gonna say what they're gonna say. They're gonna make all these different comments regarding how they didn't make the necessary adjustments the last game, how poorly Kyrie shot the ball the last game, the way Luka shot the ball the last game. But the one X factor that they didn't talk about enough, they did not talk about it enough, was Derek Lively didn't play. Yeah, I'm kind of like, if I saw Derek Lively right now, I have to just simply tell him, man, you cost us our sweep, man. Because I really believe if Derek Lively had played in that last game, we was going to sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves. Come out in the chat if you think that the Dallas Mavericks would have swept the Minnesota Timberwolves had Derek Lively played in that last game. I believe we would have. I really believe we would have because we kept it close even in the last game, in Game 4. But it wasn't for us to do it. But we did it tonight on their flow in a hostile environment in front of a crowd. Man, I saw Jimmy Jam and Snoop Dogg and Luka was giving them the business, turning around, talking to Snoop Dogg, and I'm like, yeah, we here, man, we here. So, to all the naysayers, all the Kyrie Irving haters, the Luka Doncic haters, the Dallas Maverick haters, period, man, we represented tonight. I mean, I knew when we came out and Luka started hitting threes right at the start, I said, it's going to be a long night for Minnesota. It's going to be a long night. So, again, it's been a long time since we won this. We hoisted this trophy, the Western Conference Final trophy. I'm looking forward to the matchup with the Boston Celtics in the finals. I really believe it's going to be a matchup of the century, but I do believe we're going to bring that trophy home. I've been saying it. Ever since we made that trade and we got that depth that we need, I just kept, looking how this team was playing with great concentration and togetherness. And when you have that, you can't ask for anything better. You just can't. I mean, you got 3 big men now that Max Lieber's back. So we got depth. So, regardless of what they're talking about with Boston, Christopher Porzingis coming back, him being a difference maker in the series, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you have him or not. I just feel like the Dallas Mavericks are on a mission. I think it's personal. I think it's personal with Kyrie going back to Boston. I think it's personal with Luka Doncic when if Porzingis is available to play. I think it's personal with Porzingis and Luka. With Porzingis, being a former Maverick. I think it's all personal. But that is what makes for great competition. That is what makes for great competition. So if y'all are proud of Dallas Mavericks, shout it out, man. We on the replay. This is the replay where we try to make your day. I'm your host, Jabril Rashad, aka Real Deal Jabril. As you notice, I'm the only one doing this solo dolo. I don't have my guys with me, Daryl Alexander the Great or Tim Axon Jackson. I don't know. He might have fell asleep. The game was so long, it ended late. This is nightcap. This is not nightcap. But we're gonna keep doing what we're doing and making this thing happen, man, because I got to shout my boys out. But again, we talked about this game earlier. I thought personally PJ Washington was going to be the X factor, but he just didn't have it tonight. They're going to have to put out an MIA or something, man, on his jump shot from the corner because there was nothing falling. I don't see anything. And I think it's been that way the last few games, if you ask me. But I haven't really seen anything he's done, even defensively, when you think about it, because I don't know what what's going on with him. Somebody got to go make sure he's still a part of what we're trying to do. Because I like PJ Washington. We're gonna need them corners from the 3. We need him to shoot a whole lot better in this next series that's coming up, because you're talking about going up against 2 of the best 2-way players in basketball. And so that's going to be important. We're going to need all hands on deck. All hands on deck. We'll start off. I'm glad we got this break finally. We got this rest. I'm glad that we finally got this over with. I did not want to see this game linger any longer. So we have a chance to kind of heal up a little bit. Luka can rest his knee, his shoulders. Derek Lively can, he can go take some more Tylenol, rest his neck, get his massages, and whatever other ailments that these players have. Because at this late of the season, it's been a lot of basketball that's been played, a lot of basketball. And if you only understood the magnitude, so to see them boys go into Minnesota focus the way they was able to go in and focus and play. I mean, I heard the sneakers all the way through the TV. They was playing defense so tough. I mean, they was calling out, the cutters, guys who was rotating. I mean, the Mavericks. I mean, for one, I was looking at one particular sequence where I think Minnesota had only scored like 60 points. They had only scored 60 points. That's how focused and attention to detail the Dallas Mavericks was this evening. I mean, it was like, nah, we're not planning on going back to Dallas and have to play another game, and then you have a shorter time to get your rest in. I think they would have played on Saturday. So now Boston is sitting there healing their wounds and getting all this rest. So, man, I'm so happy to see these boys win this game, and now I don't know what to do. So now it's on to the next one. It's on to the next one. And y'all check this out. Let's don't forget about them Dallas Stars. We're gonna shout the Dallas Stars out too, because they're in the finals. So I'm just kind of wondering. We had the Texas Rangers won the World Series. The Dallas Stars are playing in the hockey NHL finals, and now the Dallas Mavericks are playing in the NBA finals. We might, we're gonna surpass the triple crown if the Dallas Cowboys can do anything. Okay. I just had to throw that out there. I know what y'all saying. Don't bring up the Dallas Cowboys. All right. But I can tell you one dang old thing. If the Stars win it and the Dallas Mavericks win it, boy, let me tell you something. It's gonna be hell to pay. It's gonna be hell to pay the Dallas Cowboys don't turn their season around this fall. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be hell to play, man, because again, all these other sports franchises in the city of Dallas, they can win a chip, man, but it's nothing like when the Dallas Cowboys are winning Super Bowls. I know that, you all know that, and the rest of the country knows that, if not the entire world. That's how I see it. But we ain't gonna talk about the Dallas Cowboys right now, and I'm so glad. But I gotta say this: I'm so glad Ant-Man's coming regarding Michael Parsons about bringing him some Ant-Ones back, size 14. I'm so glad that Michael Parsons won't be able to be at the Dallas Mavericks game again. Maybe he rubbed off some jinkiness or something. I don't know. I'm so glad we took care of business on the road, so we ain't got to face none of that and see the Dallas Cowboys at the Dallas Mavericks game, nor seeing Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves back in our building. Because I'm gonna tell you, if we hadn't taken care of business this evening, I'm not saying we wouldn't have won Game 6, because actually I picked the series to go 4-2. Of course, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I thought they would probably split in Game 1 and 2. I thought they probably would split that and then come back and split 3 and 4, and then we would close them out the last 2 games. But it didn't happen that way, and I'm for one, am happy. I am so happy. So big shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, I'm just, like I say, I'm just so elated, man, because it's been a minute, and it just feel like redemption all over again. And I'm really rooting for Kyrie Irving, guys. I am really rooting for Kyrie Irving to pull this thing off with him and Luka. With all that's been said, it wasn't going to work. When they did the trade last year, Kyrie was a headache. They was crucifying him in the media. Had all these things to say about Kyrie Irving. And now, look at us now, as they say. Look at us now. This may be the most prolific backcourt as far as scoring the basketball, meaning you can get your shot at will. I mean, you can get it out of triple threat. You can get it off the dribble. I mean, they've been talking about this and debating this. We understand that Steph Curry and Thompson are I think, as far they're the most accomplished backcourt, but when you look at Thompson and Curry, Thompson has to, he's more of a shooter. But when you're talking about getting the basketball, getting into the triple threat, and being able to take somebody off the dribble, we're looking at, to me, and creating a shot, your own shot, when you don't even really need no pick, no screens, anything, just getting your shot. I think Kyrie and Luka Doncic is the most prolific backcourt that I've seen. Now, if you could say maybe Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars back in the day, because they can get off their shot as well, especially if you include Vinny Microwave Johnson coming off the bench. But you only got a duo in the backcourt. So when I look at Kyrie, 6'7", Luka Doncic 6'7", Kyrie 6'2", I just think they the best, man. I seen them, man, tonight. They was putting up threes. I think one time, when you have a backcourt, when you can just look at your teammate, right? All y'all do is make eye contact, and it's such great chemistry. All you do is making, certain movements with your body motion or your head or whatever, and they just fill each other out. They know when to take over. Luka came out and set the tone tonight. He came out and said, guys, last game was on me. Y'all heard him in the interview. He was at the podium. He said, we need a little bit more energy. And believe me, I think Derek Lively is that energy guy. He's young. He's 20-year-old. And every time he give you that bounce, that dunk, he yells out, yeah. You need that energy. You need to hear that. And so that young player not playing the last game, I think, is one of the reasons why they had a little bit of a letdown as far as the energy is that Luka was speaking about. But like I said, Luka put that on him. And then what did Kyrie Irving come out and say when he was being interviewed? He turned around and said the same thing. This one was on him, and they said to him, the reporter said that that's one of the things that Luka said. He said, "Really?" Well, that goes to show you how they're thinking. They're thinking. And I knew then, I said, say, man, they gonna come out and play. I didn't know what Minnesota was gonna do. I didn't know if, if Ant-Man and Anthony Carl Anthony Towns was gonna be able to duplicate what they did the other night, but it wasn't gonna matter. My whole thing was who was gonna be that X Factor guy. Was Derek Lively gonna play? They didn't know he was a game time decision, and I'm thinking PJ Washington was gonna be the one. But PJ Washington just didn't have it tonight. But once I knew that Derek Lively was going to be available, I said to myself, I think we got a chance to close this thing out tonight. I didn't feel that way last game. When he left the game, I told my guys, I told DA, I told Tim, I say, they tried to say, oh man, if Dallas got enough, man, they should win. And I say, man, y'all don't understand. That dude was so important in that second unit. Yeah, when you got him on the floor, Derek Lively was very important to the second unit. And so we needed that energy guy. You got to have them energy guys coming off your bench to lift everybody else. You got to have them. I think the young brother Hardy stepped in, and played well. He had a couple of, questionable turnovers and stuff like that. And I think Jason Kidd, and shout out to Jason Kidd, because I don't think Jason Kidd is getting enough credit about the job that he's doing. But Jason Kidd, he came out, man, and coached his tail off so far. I don't want to put the cherry on the top. I don't want to put the cherry on top until we bring that trophy back. But I got to be honest, man. He made some adjustments, not just in this series, but the series prior. He made some adjustments that I was like, okay, Jason, okay. When he went out and put Hardy out there into the lineup, and let him get some play, I thought that was really important. Now I don't know what's going on with Tim Hardaway Jr. Why he hadn't got any run. I mean, that's kind of strange. I mean, I know he had the ankle injury. I know he wasn't really shooting the ball as well. But look, PJ Washington wasn't shooting the ball as well. I haven't shot the ball as well the last couple of games. So I don't know why you don't get this man 5 minutes, 7, 8, 9 minutes, whatever the case may be. But then you put Dante Exum in the game. But that's, we'll see how they go into the next series. Big shout out, man, to my man Jerome Bone Davis. Good evening to you. Welcome to the replay, Jerome. I don't know if you saw the game this evening, man, but you know how I get about my Dallas Mavericks, bro. Big shout out to you, bro. You know how I get about my Dallas Mavericks, Jerome. I didn't know these boys gonna go up there to Minnesota and do what they did and wreck shop and beat these boys by 21 points. And they was actually down by 36. Can you believe it? Come on, man. Y'all shout in the comment. Let me know. Do y'all think the Dallas Mavericks going to go up there and beat Minnesota by 21 this evening? I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't believe it. But be it as it may, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take that. We close these boys out and we get a chance to rest and heal our bodies, man. But again, I think Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving is the most prolific scoring backcourt, I think, in NBA history. It's hard for me to think of any other two scoring backcourts as far as getting your own shot. I want to be very clear. I understand that Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, they're the most accomplished backcourt. I think you can't put Luka and Kyrie over them. But I'm just simply talking about if I had to just get a ball up, hey man, go get me a bucket. Go get me a bucket. I don't know if anybody else can do that again outside of maybe Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. But I'm so happy for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm just elated. I had to come on, do the show. The game was late. We would have started early. We was trying to get an early show in prior to the game starting this evening. I'm thinking the game is going to be at 8:30 Central Time, but it was 7:30 Central Time. So we was like, man, we got to do the show afterwards. But again, now let me address something real quick. I want to get into these haters, man, of Kyrie Irving. I want to talk about these haters of Kyrie Irving. And I'm going to put it, and if y'all on here listening to this, just tell me how you all feel. I just want to know how y'all feel. Put it in the chat. I want to know how y'all feel. when I look at an individual like Charles Barkley, right? I'm just asking a simple question, guys. I'm asking a simple question. I want to know, is this guy, is he a token guy? Is Charles Barkley the ultimate token guy? Or you could say corporate guy. Is he the ultimate corporate guy, token guy, however you want to say it? Is he that? And here's the reason why I'm saying it. I'm going to show you something in just a second, play this video, because prior to Charles Barkley comment uh, the other day regarding Kyrie Irving, he was on there with Kenny the Jet Smith, and Kenny was talking about some things that he had shared for the first time, how he called up Stephen A. And I'm gonna play the video for those of y'all here who may not have seen. I'm gonna play the video real quick, but this is the video from Kenny the Jet Smith talking about Kyrie Irving, his maturation, how he changed, and Charles Barkley still has something negative to say. But check this out, y'all. Along with the apology of Stephen A. Smith.
I got two brothers here. I love both Dougie and Jay. But Kenny Smith and I go back decades. And his brother, Vincent Smith, trained me at Lost Battalion Hall on Queens Boulevard, Dougie and Jay, from the time I was in junior high school. That's how far back we go. And when Kenny said what he said last night, what I appreciated about it so much, fellas, is that I'm very, very big. If you're going to quote me accurately. You want to hold me accountable, hold me accountable. But hold me accountable for things that I actually say and do, as opposed to people's interpretation of what I said. That's what annoys me about today's world, in this clickbait world that we're living in. Anybody can create anything. Kenny Smith didn't do that. What he said last night is exactly what he called me about more than a year ago. And he mentioned about 6 dudes. 3 come off the top of my head. Rod Strickland, Kyrie's godfather. Gary Howard, former executive director of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, former deputy sports editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer. His brother, Reggie Howard. 3 of those individuals that I just mentioned are like family to me. We go back decades. I love them to death. And we all had conversations religiously about it. But when Kenny Smith called me and said to me, he's from the neighborhood, he's one of us. And, you know, when you're talking, I understand where you're coming from. I understand how passionate, fervent you feel about this. You know, Stephen A., you got to think about that. And the reason why it's so appropriate that Jay Williams is on the scene is because Jay Williams and I have butted heads in the past. You know when we stopped butting heads, Jay? When Kenny Smith gave me that call. Because I was forced to then think about what you were telling me. And I said, damn, they got it. And then months later, Kyrie sees me. Kyrie comes up and he says, at this point, man, it ain't even about being you. It's about you and my pops, because we had gotten into it because of Kyrie. And immediately, when Kyrie said that, I looked at him and said, you're right. I called his dad. Then he and his dad and I, Dedrick and I, met up in New York City. And we made amends, apologized to each other, which is what men should do. And I can honestly say that Kenny Smith is a big reason for that.
Okay, guys, I just want to play the first clip right there with Stephen A. Because again, Kenny was talking about it in game number 4, how he called up Stephen A. Smith and was just, you know, hey man, listen, he said everything you saying about Kyrie back then, because he didn't want to take the COVID shot. He didn't want to, you know, put that stuff in his body, or he didn't want to do, they talked about the book that he talked about that he reposted from Negroes, from Hebrew to Negroes, whatever the case may be. And they was, you know, if many of y'all remember that, they was bombasting the brother, man. You know, the brother was still on a journey, a spiritual journey to find himself. Kyrie is one of the most giving individuals, one of the most decent human beings you ever want to meet. You ever want to meet? Very humble, you know, very measured in his words and his spirit. And these brothers went on there, man. This is one of the reasons why I stopped watching TNT. The only reason why I watch TNT right now, this is the first time I've ever even looked at TNT, only because the Dallas Mavericks were playing. Only because the Dallas Mavericks are playing. But this is what, you know, I call maturation by Stephen A. Smith, because he was able to grow up, apologize to Kyrie Irving, and they met, like he said, they shook hands. He spoke with his father, man. That's growing up. But the reason why I posted earlier, I said, is Charles Barkley, is he the ultimate token guy? Is he the corporate guy? I just want to know, because I put up something like this here. This make me say that, this is where it all stimulates from. This is where it all stimulates from, you ask me. And when you look at a situation like this, I say, why would this dude who's from Alabama say something as retarded as he said about Kyrie Irving? Why? Why would he do that? Why would he go on national TV and talk about this guy the way he did? When especially Charles Barkley, is old enough to be this young man's father. That bothered my soul, y'all. That really did. For him to say the thing that he said about Kyrie Irving. I'm gonna play the video right here.
They made a mistake. We have suspended people and fined people who have made homophobic slurs, and that was the right thing to do. I think if you insult the black community, you should be suspended or fined heavily, depending. I saw they did the same thing to the kid in Minnesota this year when he made the gay slur. I think you should get suspended or fined. I think him acknowledging the Alex Jones thing should have happened with that too, because that dude's crazy. And I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot.
Man, let me tell you something. When he said that right there, when he called Kyrie Irving an idiot on national TV, this young brother, when he said that, I was fuming. If I would have seen, I'm telling you, man, if I would have been any, relationship with Kyrie Irving and could have seen this man, Charles Barkley, man, I would have had something to say to him about that. You went on national TV being the token that you are, man, and you went in here and called this brother an idiot, and then Shaquille O'Neal turned right around and echoed his same sentiments and called this man an idiot too. I said, are you kidding me? What happened to picking up the phone? Because if you didn't have any comment, I would have just picked up the phone later on and said, hey, Kyrie, let's meet for lunch. Let's talk. What's going on with you? The same way Jason Williams did, the former Duke guard. The way Kenny Jet Smith walked with balance. If you go back and look at any of those interviews, Kenny didn't say a whole lot. He didn't speak to a whole lot. And it was probably a lot. It was pretty much because they're from the same neck of the woods. But even with that, I'm saying, here's a young African-American man that's still trying to find his way and never took any food off of your plate, Charles Barkley, by the way. But you have the audacity to call this man an idiot. That what really burned me, man. It burnt my soul. But then I had to go back and, that's why I put the picture up again. I had to go back and then really understand what his makeup is. That's his wife, Maureen, of 30 years, right? I'm saying, how do a brother out of Alabama be with, marry a European? To each his own. To each his own. I don't understand. My grandmother's from Birmingham, Alabama. I've been to Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. I know about all the racism in Alabama. But he swear to God, I think he's from a place called Lee, Alabama. Something that's even another country, small town. Ain't no telling the KKK running all up through there. But how did you miss all that, according to him? And so again, man, that dude is 2 thumbs down for me. But then I had to go back to an old video that they played years ago. Some of y'all may remember this video, and this is one of the reasons why I say no, he's not an example. He's definitely not an example. Let me play this video right here.
Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing he ever said, because he's definitely not no one ever asked you to raise their children. But to sit here and try to say that you're not a role model, first of all, you're a role model to yourself, because God created us out of the most excellent of mold. So you should be a role model to yourself. And just being an example, sometimes it's not what you say, but it's what you do. You can emulate your own self, your own reflection, if you're striving towards excellence. And then young children can mirror themselves after that. That's what they call emulating someone. But you couldn't be that. You had to go on national TV once again doing a Nike commercial talking about how you're not a role model. Man, there's kids in the ghettos of the United States of America who look up to these NBA players. Let's call it what it is. It is what it is. Whether if it's in the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, what have you. There are young minds out there. Some of y'all may have seen a video going on when Steph Curry was walking out of the back of the arena, and it was a young boy. He yelled out Steph Curry's name. He said, Steph. And Steph Curry took the time out as he's walking toward the arena and told the kid, man, told the kid, come here. And the little boy ran over there, man. He signed his jersey. His dad walked over. He said, you can sign? He said, yeah. He signed his jersey and everything, man. That's what I'm talking about. When God put you in a position like that, man, that's responsibility. They say, to whom much is given, much is required, right? To whom much is given, much is required. So there's an accountability there, whether if you choose to be a role model or not. Nobody's asking you to mentor them through, all the stages of life that they have to go through. No one is asking you to pick them up from school. No one is asking you to clothe them or feed them, but be the best you. You understand? Be the best you. And if you're being the best you, then maybe some of these young boys and young girls won't make the mistakes that they see other silly people doing. Because again, we're the only group of people that makes it okay for us to be retarded in the mind. There's a regression there. That's not a progression, that's a regression. And so when I see a dude like Charles Barkley, I just simply say, well, just go back to his history. Go back when he was at Auburn playing basketball, round mound of basketball, and just follow his interviews after that. He likes to make these little jokes. He likes to talk real stupid. Sometimes you listen to him talk, it's like he don't even have he don't even understand what what I'm trying to say, a verb, a subject and a verb agreement mean. Seems like he don't know nothing about dangling participles or conjunctions or whatever the case may be. Just like he just be running his mouth. So for him to sit here and say something about Kyrie was disrespecting the man's religion, first of all, you ain't even a religious theology on nothing, brother. You ain't a religious theology on absolutely nothing. I guarantee you, if I asked you to name all 12 disciples of Jesus, you couldn't even name them. You couldn't even probably tell me the 4 gospels. You couldn't even tell me what exegesis is. You couldn't probably tell me what hermeneutics is. So who qualified you to talk about what's Jewish and what's not? Because if you really study the scripture, you will come to understand they're not the original Jews. Those are facts. And you can't argue with the facts. You don't know anything about the Ashkenazi Jews. You don't know how they migrated and got already over in Germany. Those scriptures are not talking about those people who just took on, they usurped and stole the true images of African American people, or Africans, I should say, because we assimilated when we came across the Atlantic Ocean into this country over here and took on other people's cultures and lifestyle until we was able to formulate and birth our own culture in here. That's what makes us so great. That's what makes us so beautiful. Because no matter what they tried to do, we deflected it and we still kept coming. What was that old saying? Y'all remember back in the day with a comedian Robin Harris used to talk about baby. We baby kids. We don't die, we multiply. Yeah, that's what they look at African America. Man, we don't rape, beat, kill, stole the religion, the names, everything to desecrate these people. And guess what? It still didn't work, and we still rising, and we still coming, and we're getting smarter and smarter by the day. And I don't care what they try to put out there. That's not, the foolishness, all of the twerking, all of the long purple hair, the pink hair, and all that stuff. That's not the best representation of African American people as a whole. But that's what they'll like to put out there and let the world think. But we know better. We understand. We know better. So we ain't gonna go off of what these what we call handkerchief heads. We're not gonna go off of those 1800 statements where you sit up here and just you hurl something in the environment and thinking that that's the truth or that's the gospel to what you just said. You have no idea about what Kyrie have been studying. You don't study nothing but a damn pork chop sandwich. You big fat, he just, man, that dude just, again. But now, I'm gonna tell you something. When the Dallas Mavericks, I think they won Game 3, and Kyrie went up there on TNT. I'm telling y'all, I understand sometimes you got to rise above certain people's consciousness, but there are certain things you can't do with a man like me who has principles. You ain't gonna sit there, man, and like I say, you peeing on top of my head, but you telling me that it's raining. And I know what you said about me. Nah, I mean, maybe he felt like, I'm gonna laugh in their face, I'm gonna kill him with kindness. But nah, I ain't got no love for you. Tell TNT, man, I'll come up there and talk to Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson, as long as them two, and Shaquille O'Neal, I mean, please, brother. Go back to school and take speech classes all over again. Because they come to, oh, you know, Shaq got all these business. Man, first of all, Shaq don't own, he's not a intellectual, what they call IPs, intellectual property ownership of nothing. His business is a JV with other white men. That's what he do. He JV. Now, that's smart on his part. If he can't think for himself, hell, go get you some help. I ain't knocking him for that. But then again, like I say, the blind leading the dumb, because Charles Barkley, he's sitting over here saying one thing, and you come right back and y'all call this man Kyrie Irving an idiot. And so this is why I am so happy for Kyrie Irving. No matter how, you know, what happens in these finals, I want him to bring it back to Dallas, man. But you're talking about redemption, and you're talking about rewriting a story, man. I just hope the Dallas Mavericks bring it home. I really hope the Dallas Mavericks bring it home for individuals and naysayers like the Charles Barkley of the world, you know, and make them kiss the ring. You know, make them, when you win it all and they put that ring on your finger, make them kiss the ring. Yeah, make them kiss the ring, man. Now, I know he probably won't do it because that's not who Kyrie Irving really is. But sometimes you got to let them know. You just can't let people just, you know, sully your name and talk about you and call you idiot. This man got wife and kids. And you would do that to this man on national TV, being one of these token Negroes. I'm just sick of that. I just dislike it. So, but guys, that was a lot, you know, I had to unpack on this, and I'm not gonna hold you any longer because I had to talk about the Dallas Mavericks win this evening. We took care of business. Now we get about, I think the final start next Thursday. So we almost about 7 days rest. That's big. We need that. We need that going into Boston. We're going to go into another hostile environment. We're going to be going up against two of the best two-way players in the NBA, in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And it's going to be a lot to prove, but I believe that we're going to come out victorious. I think it'll probably go 7, you know. But I'm going to tell you like this, if we can protect our home court, because, you know, Boston, they could have lost 2 of those games, if not 3 of those games against Indiana. Let's just get that straight. And Indiana did lose one of their best players in Halliburton. So, you know, we'll see. But I know we're road warriors, and we can go into Boston and steal 1 or 2 games. So it might go 7, but it could go 6. But whatever it go, I hope they just horsing that trophy in 2024. That'll be, and the Stars take care of business. We'll have 3 championships for this city. And then we'll be waiting on the Dallas Cowboys, y'all. All right, so I know some of y'all Cowboy Nation, you like shaking your head like, oh man. but you know, hey, we shall see. So guys, this has been another episode of the replay where we try to make your day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, the like, and share button. You know, we're still growing the channel. We can't do this without you. We're gonna keep grinding with this thing, y'all, because we got a whole lot we want to say, and we want to continue with our I Am Student Athlete platform as well, because we got a lot of young people out there that's making these decisions. You know, big shout out to all of the high school graduates. I have one tomorrow. My youngest son is graduating, man. So I'm so proud of him and his accomplishments and what he's about to embark upon. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. So again, y'all, I want to thank y'all for joining me on the replay. We're going to come back again Monday. I probably won't be solo the next time around. But you know what? I always say you got to do what you got to do when you got to do it. So no big deal. I jumped on here for y'all to talk about these Dallas Mavericks. Once again, Luka Doncic, he was the Western Conference Final MVP. And I like what he said. You know, this is everybody's trophy. It's everybody's trophy. You're absolutely right. So guys, this has been a replay. Thank you for joining me once again. Always keep God first, and we're going to see you next time on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Peace.